Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this mentoring or coaching on the use of the classroom observation tool and RPMS tool. So, this memorandum is issued by the Planning, Human Resource, and Organizational Development Office from the Office of the Undersecretary. So, this is about the guidelines on the implementation of the results based performance management system for school year 2020-2021. Now, the context of this RPMS emphasizes on the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic on school year 2020-2021, which changes the demand for teaching and learning, shifts to distance learning delivery modalities, and needs to upskill and retool teachers and the new learning delivery. And as the learning delivery changes, so do the duties of teachers to their learners and the performance expected of them. The expectations of teachers must be captured in their performance assessment through a more contextualized results-based performance management system or the RPMS. Modifications in RPMS, its tools, processes, and protocols for school year 2020-21 were made on the objectives taken from the PPST priority indicators, means of verifications, performance indicators, classroom observation processes and protocols, and adjusted timeline in the RPMS cycle. Before we proceed, let me introduce first the different forms needed for the classroom observation. First, we have the rating sheet. So this will be used by the rater in observing the teacher. So there are three indicators that needs to be observed. First is apply knowledge of content within and across curriculum teaching areas. Second, plan and deliver teaching strategies that are responsive to the special educational needs of learners in difficult circumstances, including geographical isolation, chronic illness, displacement due to armed conflict, urban resettlement or disasters, child abuse, and child labor practices. And the third one to be observed, select, develop, organize, and use of appropriate teaching and learning resources, including ICT, to address the learning goals. And these are the objectives, are the rubric to be used in rating the teacher. 3 for organizing, 4 for developing, 5 for applying, 6 for consolidating, and 7 for integrating. We also have this form, the observation notes forms. This will be used by the rater. Next, we have the inter-observer agreement form. So this will only be used in case there are more than one observer. Okay, let's proceed now to the classroom observation tool RPMS for the proficient teachers, and that is from teacher 1 to teacher 3. So these are the description of the rubric that will be used. 3 for organizing. So the teacher demonstrates a limited range of loosely associated pedagogical aspects of the indicator. Loosely associated. 4 for developing. If the teacher demonstrates a range of associated pedagogical aspects of the indicator that sometimes are aligned with the learner's developmental needs. 5 or applying. If the teacher demonstrates a range of associated pedagogical aspects of the indicator that usually are aligned with the learner's developmental needs. 6 for consolidating. if the teacher uses well-connected pedagogical aspects of the indicator that consistently are aligned with student development and support students to be successful learners. 7. Integrating. If the teacher uses well-connected pedagogical aspects of the indicator to create an environment that addresses individual and group learning goals. So the lowest score is 3 and the highest is 7. Now let's discuss each indicator. For indicator 1, apply knowledge of content within and across curriculum teaching areas. To be rated 7 as the highest, the teacher applies accurate, in-depth, and broad knowledge of content and pedagogy that creates a conducive learning environment that enables an in-depth and sophisticated understanding of the teaching and learning process to meet individual or group learning needs within and across curriculum teaching areas. For indicator 2, plan and deliver teaching strategies that are responsive to the special educational needs of learners in difficult circumstances, including geographical isolation, chronic illness, displacement due to armed conflict, urban resettlement or disasters, child abuse, and child labor practices. To be rated 7, the teacher employs extensive repertoire of strategies to create a learner-centered environment that addresses the special educational needs of the individual and group of learners in difficult circumstances. Indicator 3. Select, develop, organize, and use appropriate teaching and learning resources, including ICT, to address learning goals. To be rated 7, the teacher integrates extensive and multidisciplinary learning resources, including ICT, which are appropriate and aligned with the learning goals. So those are the 3 indicators that needs to be rated during the classroom observation. Now, these are the frequently asked questions on the alternative classroom observations. For general questions, the question is, what are the alternative classroom observations for school year 2020-2021? So there are 3 modes of observation for school year 2020-2021, namely, the online observation, that is option 1, observation of a video lesson, that is option 2, and observation of a demonstration teaching via LAC, that is option 3. Next question. Who or what will determine the mode of observation? So the modality adopted by the teacher will determine the mode of observation. Next, another question. I will adopt 2 to 3 learning modalities or the blended learning for the school year. What do I consider for observation? So if online synchronous is one of your modalities, you have to take option 1, the online observation, as the sole mode of observation. If online asynchronous is one of your modalities and online synchronous is not possible, take option 2, and that is observation of a video lesson. If online learning or synchronous or asynchronous is neither of your modalities, you have to take option 3, and that is observation of a demonstration teaching via Learning Action Cell. Another question. Can I shift between modes of observation? The answer is no. You only have to use one mode of observation for the entire year. Another question, how many observations are required for school year 2020-2021? So the answer is you only have 2 observations required. For online observation, frequently asked questions. The question is, say for example, I only have one online class with 5 learners in a week. Does online observation apply to me? The answer is yes. Online observation applies to teachers adopting online synchronous learning regardless of the number of classes and learners. Another question, does online observation apply to blended learning? The answer is yes, as long as online synchronous learning is one of your modalities in blended learning. Next question. What if my online class was cut off due to intermittent internet connection during my scheduled observation? Can I reschedule the online observation? The answer is yes. You can reschedule the observation with your observers. Other factors outside the performance of the teacher, such as poor internet connection and sudden power outage, should not be graded against the teacher. Another question. Can I submit a recording of my online teaching if my internet is perennially unstable? The answer is yes. And this can be discussed with your observer or observers. Now, on the observation of a video lesson, what are the questions that are frequently asked? How do I create a video lesson? The answer is, you have to record yourself while teaching a lesson using any video recording device. Next question, can I submit a video lesson that is not used in any of my classes? The answer is no. A video lesson must have been used in your lesson delivery as part of your supplementary materials or as one of your learning materials for online asynchronous learning. Another question is the video lesson used for TV-based instruction? The answer is no. The video lesson is a teacher-made learning material used for online asynchronous learning. How do I let my observers access my video lesson intended for observation? The answer is, you have to give your observers access to the storage cloud. Example, the Google Drive or any storage device like the flash drive, where the video lesson is saved. You can also give access to your online classroom or a learning management system where the video lesson is uploaded. How about for observation of demonstration teaching via Learning Action Cell or LAC? Frequently asked question is, in what learning modality does observation of demonstration teaching via LAC apply? The answer is, this mode of observation applies to purely modular learning, be it print or digital, radio-based instruction, and TV-based instruction. Another question, why is LAC utilized for teaching observation? The answer is, this may be the best time to use LAC as an opportunity for both ratees and observers to discuss collegially strategies in improving the teaching and learning processes, especially in addressing challenges in learning delivery brought by pandemic. Okay, now let's proceed to the RPMS tool for teacher 1 to teacher 3. PPST, priority indicators and means of verifications. So there are 11 priority indicators from the Philippine Professional Standards for Teachers, or the PPST, chosen as RPMS objectives for this school year. And these priority indicators were selected based on being more responsive and appropriate to the current context of the teachers, learners, and the learning environment. The classroom observable objectives are the following. So there are 7 classroom observable objectives for both proficient and highly proficient teachers. The performance indicators of these objectives are identified for quality, except for Objective 6, which has a quality and timeliness. You can refer to your copy of your RPMS tool. Objectives 1, 5, and 7 require means of verification, or MOV, from a classroom observation. Take note, only 2 observations are required for the entire school year. Objectives 2, 3, and 4 require supplementary materials as MOV, while Objective 6 require evidence that show feedback to learners. Only 2 MOVs that shows evidence of each objective are required for the entire school year. For the non-classroom observable objectives, so there are 4 non-classroom observable objectives for both proficient and highly proficient teachers. The performance indicators are identified for quality in Objective 8 and the quality and efficiency in Objectives 9 to 11. Then plus factor is Objective 12. Now let's talk on the KRAs. We have the KRA 1, the content, knowledge, and pedagogy. Objective 1 for KRA 1. Applied knowledge of content within and across curriculum teaching areas. So what are the means of the verification needed? We have the Classroom Observation Tool, or the COT, rating sheet or inter-observer agreement form from an online observation of online synchronous teaching. 2. If option 1 is not possible, an observation of a video lesson that is SLM based or MELC aligned. And 3. If options 1 and 2 are not possible, an observation of a demonstration teaching via Learning Action Cell, or LAC. To be given a rating of 5, a teacher must have demonstrated level 7 in Objective 1 as shown in COT rating sheets, inter-observer agreement forms. Now take note, I am emphasizing here the highest point that we have to attain. Now, if it is not possible, then we can have it in the VS or in the satisfactory. But if possible, we have to reach or aim for the rating of 5. For objective number 2, ensured the positive use of ICT to facilitate the teaching and learning process. So what are the means of verification needed? Any supplementary material in print or in digital format made by the ratee and used in the lesson delivery that highlights the positive use of ICT to facilitate the teaching and learning process. So we have, for example, the activity sheets, one lesson from a self-learning module, lesson plan, or what we call the DLP now, the DLL, the weekly home learning plan, lesson exemplars, and the likes, video lesson, audio lesson, and other learning materials in print or digital format. Then, if you will be using other materials, you have to specify and provide annotations. To be rated 5, the ratee must ensure that the ICT used redefine and transform learning experiences and are documented properly and consistently using any referencing style as shown in the submitted learning material. For Objective 3 under KRA 1, applied a range of teaching strategies to develop critical and creative thinking as well as other higher order thinking skills. What are the means of verification needed? Any supplementary material in print or in digital format made by the ratee and is used in the lesson delivery that highlights the teaching strategies to develop critical and creative thinking as well as other higher order thinking skills like the activity sheets, one lesson form from a self-learning module, lesson plan, video lesson, audio lesson, and other learning materials in print or digital format. To be rated 5, the ratee must apply teaching strategies that challenge learners to draw conclusions and justify their learning or put parts together to promote deeper understanding of ideas learned as shown in the submitted learning material. Objective 4 under KRA 2. KRA 2 is the diversity of learners and assessment and reporting. So objective number 4, established a learner-centered culture by using teaching strategies that respond to their linguistic, cultural, socioeconomic, and religious backgrounds. So what are the means of the verification? Any supplementary material in print or digital format made by the ratee and used in the lesson delivery that highlights teaching strategies that are responsive to learners' linguistic, cultural, socioeconomic, or religious backgrounds, like activity sheets, one lesson from a self-learning module, lesson plan, video lesson, audio lesson, and other learning materials in print or digital format. To be rated 5, the teacher must utilize effective teaching strategies that are appropriate in responding to learners' linguistic, cultural, socioeconomic, or religious backgrounds at an individual level as shown in the submitted learning material. Under KRA 2, Diversity of Learners and Assessment and Reporting pa rin, we have objective number 5, planned and delivered teaching strategies that are responsive to the special educational needs of learners in difficult circumstances, including geographical isolation, chronic illness, displacement due to armed conflict, urban resettlement or disasters, child abuse, and child labor practices. So means of verification needed: classroom observation tool or COT, rating sheet or inter-observer agreement form from an online observation of online synchronous teaching. If option 1 is not possible, an observation of a video lesson that is SLM based or MELC aligned. And if options 1 and 2 are not possible, an observation of a demonstration teaching via LAC. And to be rated 5, a teacher must have demonstrated level 7 in Objective 5 as shown in COT, rating sheet, or inter-observer agreement forms. For objective number 6 under KRA 2, Use strategies for providing timely, accurate, and constructive feedback to improve learner performance. What are the MOVs? Evidence that highlights providing accurate and constructive feedback to improve learner performance and that shows timeliness of feedback given to any of the following: activity sheet, performance task, quiz or test, self-learning module. To be rated 5, the teacher must have provided learners with accurate and specific and directed constructive feedback as shown in the evidence submitted. MOV must be submitted MOV submitted must show feedback given within 5 working days from submission. Under KRA 3, Curriculum and Planning, Objective number 7, selected, developed, organized, and used appropriate teaching and learning resources, including ICT, to address learning goals. So what are the verifications needed? We have the Classroom Observation Tool or the COT rating sheet or Inter-Observer Agreement Form. From 1. An online observation of online synchronous teaching. 2. If option 1 is not possible, an observation of a video lesson that is SLM-based or MELC-aligned. And 3. If options 1 and 2 are not possible, an observation of a demonstration teaching via lab. And to be rated 5, the teacher must have demonstrated level 7 in objective 7 as shown in COT rating sheets or inter-observer agreement forms. Objective 8, under Curriculum and Planning of KRA 3 pa rin, set achievable and appropriate learning outcomes that are aligned with learning competencies. So what are the MOVs? 1 lesson plan. Example, the DLP, DLL, WHLP, WLP, WLL, lesson exemplars, and the likes. Or 1 lesson from the self-learning module prepared by the ratee with achievable and appropriate learning outcomes that are aligned with the learning competencies as shown in any of the following: lecture or discussion, activity or activity sheet, performance task, rubric for assessing performance using criteria that appropriately describe the target output. To be rated 5, all of the learning outcomes set are aligned with the learning competencies as shown in the MOV submitted. Dapat lahat ng 4 na yun. For KRA 4, community linkages and professional engagement, and personal growth and professional development. So, Objective 9, build relationships with parents, guardians, and the wider school community to facilitate involvement in the educative process. So, what are the MOVs needed? 1. Proof of participation in any activity for improved access to education, such as, but not limited to the following activities: distribution of learning materials to learners or parents. Example, the receipt form, monitoring form during distribution of learning materials. Next, we also have Brigada Eskwela. Example, commitment form to stakeholders, develop advocacy materials, certificate of participation that involves parents or stakeholders, engagement signed by the school head. Next, we have the home visitation. Example, home visitation form or etc. And fourth is others. So kung wala dun sa taas, pero meron kang ginawa, have or put that in others. But please specify and provide annotation kung ano yung ginamit mo as your proof. Second proof or proof number 2. Parent-teacher lag or proof of other stakeholders meeting. Example, one-on-one parent-teacher learner conference lag. Attendance sheet with minutes of online or face-to-face meeting. Proof of involvement in the learner's parents' orientation, and etc. 3. Any form of communication to parents, stakeholders, example, notice of meetings, screenshots of chat or text messages, communication with parents, guardians, name or any identifier removed. So, digital printed copy of learner enrollment survey form signed by the ICT coordinator, focal person, and the school head. Now, to be rated 5, the teacher must have sustained engagement with parents or guardians and or wider school community to facilitate involvement in the educative process as evidenced by 2 or more of MOV number 1 or number 2. Submitted any 4 of the acceptable MOVs. For objective number 10, participated in professional networks to share knowledge and to enhance practice. What are the MOVs? We have certificate of completion in a course training, certificate of participation in a webinar, retooling, upskilling, and other training seminar workshop with proof of implementation. Certificate of recognition, speakership in a webinar, retooling, upskilling, and other training seminar workshop. Any proof of participation to benchmarking activity. Any proof of participation in school LAC sessions, be it online or face-to-face, certified by the LAC coordinator. And others, please specify and provide annotations. To be rated 5, the teacher must have participated in any professional network activity that requires output and proof of implementation within the school to share knowledge and to enhance practice as evidenced by the submitted MOV. And to be rated 5 for the efficiency, you have to submit 4 different kinds of acceptable MOVs. For objective number 11, developed a personal improvement plan based on reflection of one's practice and ongoing professional learning. So what are the MOVs? The main MOV is the Individual Performance and Commitment Review Form Developmental Plan or the IPCRF-DP. And the supporting MOV, any document aligned with the IPCRF-DP such as reflection of one's practice during LAC sessions with proof of attendance. Reflection or personal notes on coaching and mentoring and or mid-year review. Personal notes, journal on division, school-led inset with proof of attendance. Certificate of enrollment, registration form and class card in graduate or postgraduate school online courses. Any learning material highlighting the improvement done based on accomplished reflection section. And others, please specify and provide annotations. To be rated 5 in quality, The teacher must have updated the development plan and approved by the rater during phase 2 of the RPMS cycle. So you should have your updated development plan. And to be rated 5 for the efficiency, the teacher must have submitted the IPCRF development plan with any 4 of the acceptable supporting MOVs. KRA 5 or the plus factor. Objective number 12. Perform various related works or activities that contribute to the teaching learning process. So what are the MOVs for this? We have proof of 1. Committee involvement. Pwedeng advisorship of curricular activities. Involvement as module or learning material writer. Involvement as module or learning material validator. Participation in the ROs or SDO, school-initiated TV radio-based instruction. Pwede rin book of journal authorship or contributorship. Proof of coaching and mentoring learner in competitions. Mentoring pre-service teachers. Kung meron tayong pre-service teachers ngayon. Participation in demonstration teaching. Participation as research presenter in a forum or conference. And others. You have to provide annotations. And to be rated 5 for the quality, the teacher must have performed at least one related work activity that contributed to the teaching learning process beyond the school community learning center as evidenced by submitted MOV. And to be rated 5 for the efficiency, the teacher must have submitted any 4 of the acceptable MOV. Okay, so those are the possible MOVs that you have to prepare hinay-hinay karon para sa ato ang RPMS. So, thank you for listening and for the discussion. Let's proceed for this after this presentation. Once again, thank you and good morning.